Welcome everybody to our yoga class for today. We'll get started by sitting back in the chair. And you can sit all the way back if that's more comfortable. You can do a little wiggle, a little movement through the shoulders, the head, anything that you need right now. And excuse Lulu, she's going to be hanging out with me today. Right. And then let your awareness start to follow what's around you externally. So we start by bringing our awareness away from whatever we were doing before to just this moment, but noticing what's around you, what you see. And then if you'd like to close your eyes, you can start to give your awareness to what's happening within your own body today. So just observing like what's feeling, what am I feeling, what's talking to me, what's asking for a little more love. And how about what parts of you are working very well, so well that you probably don't even notice them. And as we start to find our awareness into this space, we can let that go internally, noticing also how you feel emotionally and mentally, as well as physically. And then begin to tune into your breath, noticing the inhale and the exhale. And then resolving that what we do over the next hour is you listening to your own body and what you need for today. Choosing whether you want to go gentle or stronger, or even just stopping for a bit. But always coming back to the breath. As we find that slower and deeper breath, you may begin to notice what part of your body moves when you inhale and what changes when you exhale. Imagining now that you can make a wave of breath that expands the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And as you exhale, you release all three, not necessarily worrying about the order of that happening. And then as you find that rhythm of the breath, you can start to slow down the exhale, make it just a little longer than the inhale. And then just settle in for 3 more rounds of breath. After you feel complete with those 3 rounds of breath, feel free to keep the breath more mindful and strong, or more deeper breath, or just come back to a natural breath. And gently open the eyes. And one more thing to know is to pay attention to where your mind is right now. It's really easy for our mind to start wandering off to like what's later on, what's for dinner, or rehashing something earlier. But if possible, we're going to stay present by just being aware of every sensation that we feel right now. All right, let's get started. So we'll start with just stretching out the arms in front, bringing your palms forward, and then just doing a little wave up and down. A little greeting to everybody who's here today. Welcome to yoga with me. All right. And then turn the palm up, turn the palms up, and same thing, up and down. Kind of seeing how the wrists are feeling today. All right, and then releasing the arms by the sides. We're going to take shoulders up, inhale, exhale, release, stretch out the fingers, adding a little more tension, make a fist, draw the shoulders up. Inhale, exhale, reach, stretch it away, and then one more time. Inhale, bring it up, and exhale, release. Let the arms swing forward and back, And you decide how high. Your shoulders are going to tell you what they're okay with. Whether you can come up a little more and maybe back a little more, or you just keep it really soft. Okay. All right, and continuing, we'll add some circles. Taking the arms around. And then reversing that. And I don't know about you, but after I move my arms for a long time, my shoulders get tired and my neck gets tired. So you're going to take a little break from that. Let the arms relax, kind of shake them up a little, shake them up and down a little bit. All right. And while we're here, let's stretch our legs out, bringing our legs forward, pressing through the heels of the feet and the toes back. Noticing the legs and what it takes to do that. If you need to bend your knees, it's okay. We're just going to point and flex through the ankles. Get the ankles moving. All right, and then let the ankles move in a circle. You can choose same direction or opposite direction, your choice. And then go the other direction. Whatever you've chosen, just go the other way. And then we're just going to kind of shake that out. And then bring the feet down. All right. Begin to move forward in your chair. I'm going to bring my microphone a little closer. Begin to move forward in your chair. And the first thing I want you to do is just to feel your feet connecting to the ground. So there's 3 points of contact in each foot. There's the base of the big toe, the base of the pinky toe, and the heel. Feel each foot connecting to the ground, not just hanging out there, but can you actually press down through your feet a little bit? And then you're going to lift your toes and spread them and then bring them back down. All right, so we're going to start with the feet connected, pressing into the ground, and that allows us to sit up taller by using our feet and our pelvis in the chair to press up and reach up with our spine. Now reach your arms out to the sides and then just see what your wingspan is here. Good. And then release back down. So always option to not bring your arms very high if that's just too intense for you today. And we're going to take this into a right palm flexes and then we reach to the right. I leave. And then the left palm flexes and we reach to the left. Good. One more time each side. Notice how far you can lean out, but please don't fall out of your chair because I can't catch you. All right, come back to center. All right, and then just roll the shoulders up and back and down. All right. And then let's give the neck a little bit of love here. Bring your chin up and back. Feel the back of the neck get long, and then let your head lean to the right. Notice how the left side feels. Good, and then bring it up, and then lean it to the left. Good. Continue with that. I've got to take a toy away from my dog because it's going to get noisy. No, none of that. All right, one more side. Good. And then the next time we lean to the right, let that left arm reach out, spreading the fingers wide, and your arm is kind of just diagonally down, but just creating a little more space along this whole area here. Good. Now take your chin over to the right, and then turn your left palm up so that your thumb is reaching back. From here, you can add a nod of the chin up and down. Good. Bring your head back to neutral, release your hands. Now let's go to the second side. So we're leaning head to the left and reaching out with the right arm. Spreading those fingers wide and just getting as long as you can on the right side without straining. So there's a reach, but there's also a straining, which we don't want to do. Now turn your chin to the left and turn your right palm up so the thumb is reaching back. And then a little nod with your chin as if you were saying yes. Good. Bring your head back to neutral, your hand back to your lap. Again, just doing a little shrug up and down with the shoulders. And then I'm going to show you something a little different. So sometimes we do these circles around, and we can start with that one. We can just take our circles in this vertical plane where we're drawing the letter O with our nose in one direction and then the other. But we're going to play with a couple of different neck things today, just because I think it's kind of fun to do something different. So now imagine that you have a plate, a little like dessert plate in front of your chin. You're going to take and draw a circle in that direction. So you're taking the chin around and making that neck come forward and then back. All right, and then go the other way. You're outlining the edge of that little tiny plate. All right, nice. And then the next one is imagining that your chin is like a bicycle wheel. It's going up and down and around. So we're tucking it back and then up and around. I know it's kind of weird. And then as you can, reverse and come back in. We're just kind of letting the neck do all the different movements that it can do, hopefully in a pain-free way. Good. Bring your head back to center. All right. So hopefully you got some of those crickle crackle sounds out of the neck for now, right? All right. So now I want to contrast something for you. When we sat with our knees, feet width apart, or hip width apart, and our knees facing forward, and we reach to the right, you don't even have to use your arm. Notice how far you go before you're about to feel like you're going to lose your balance, okay? So that's all we're doing is just leaning one direction and then the other, okay? Now, I want to show the difference between what you can do here and here, and then taking the feet wide. And while we take our feet wide, you might feel a pretty tightness to the groin, so let the knees come in and out. I forget sometimes because I've already done a couple of classes today that you're still warming up. So don't let me forget that, okay? So let the hips get a little warm up here. And then with the feet planted and those legs wide, now lean to the right and see if that's different. How far can you go before you feel like you're going to fall out? Pretty far, because this leg's holding you up, right? And then go the other direction. We're just leaning and reaching. Good. And then come back to center. All right. So now bring the feet forward and the knees closer together. And if we bring our knees together and our toes together, just lightly, without really doing anything else, notice how that lean changes. Now it becomes more precarious. Like, oh no, I'm going to go off. So I don't want you to fall, but just test it. All right. So now we're going to add that block, the pillow, whatever that you brought. I'm going to use my block, and we're just going to place it between the thighs, not on the knee joint, but just above that. And then as you squeeze that block, maybe not like 100%, but just maybe 30, 40%, notice which muscles or what part of your body is working there. So you can squeeze, you can release, you can squeeze, you can release. Good. All right. It's a little bit like that. Remember the Suzanne Summers Thigh Master? It's kind of like that, right? All right. And now, so obviously we're working the inside of the thighs, but you may also feel it in your hips and your low back, right? So be really gentle with that. And I'm going to show you that I'll show you back a little bit later when we get to that. So now as you draw the thighs towards each other and lengthen your body, now reach over to the right and see if that changed how this feels. Interesting. So our inner thighs are part of our core, and we're going the other way. And all it does is it helps stabilize our body so that everything stays centered. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is with that block, take your heels, and I'm going to move my camera so you can see my feet a little bit better. I'm going to have you keep the block just lightly between your thighs, but take the heels out wider than the toes and see how that feels. So for a lot of us, doing that it begins to extend or broaden the low back area. So this is one new thing that I'm learning. And if you find that made things worse, then just go back to what you were doing before, okay? We're not going to stay here forever. We're going to come back to it a little bit later. Go ahead and take it out. Set it off to the side, and let's move through our spinal movement. I don't know if you all take water breaks, but it's a good time for a water break if you do. And I generally take water. I try to set aside time for a water break. Okay. We'll begin to move through our spinal movement, right hand, right shoulder, leaning to the left, option to lift that right elbow, and exhale, bring it back down. We'll take 2 more of those. Inhale, reach up, leaning, and exhale, bring it down. And then 1 more, reach it up, hold here for a bit. And then you can let the elbow come forward and then back. Finding a gentle twist while we're here, not such a big twist, but just enough to feel that range of motion around the shoulder blade. Good. And then if you feel okay with reaching the arm up and over, notice what's holding you up here, okay? All right, and then bring it back up and then roll that right shoulder around. So you might think of that as just a stretch, but when we go to one side, we'll play with it this side. Left hand, left shoulder. Inhale, lift as we lean to the right. Exhale, bring it back down. Good. 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last time here, you can come here. And we'll bring the elbow back and then forward. And the breath would be kind of like an inhale to reach back and an exhale to come forward. Good. 1 more. And so to illustrate what I was talking about with the core is if you stayed here and brought the right arm up and both arms up, you're going to start to notice what's holding you up here. Okay. All right. And then come back up. Nice job. All right. Roll out the shoulders. We're going to give the arms a break. So even if you don't think of a side bend as core, it really is because we're using the obliques, the muscles on the side of the back. Okay. Let's move through our cat-cow, just rounding, tucking the tailbone under, bringing the chin to the chest. Good. Coming into our cat pose and then bringing the chest forward, shoulders back. You're welcome to bring your arms out and back as if you were bird sunning and then exhaling as you round. So coming through that a few times at your choice. What you do with your hands is really up to you. Good. All right. And then finally coming back to neutral spine. Okay. 1 more movement of the spine, and that's to lengthen. She always has to get a choice. Inhale, lengthen, get as tall as you can. Take a deep breath in, and with an exhale, we're just going to let ourselves slump. Not like cat pose, but just like your normal slump. Everybody knows how to do that, right? So we're going to inhale, lengthen, lift your rib cage away from your pelvis. And with your exhale, let yourself slump. Good. And then just 1 more time, we're just coming up to our length of our spine and try to find a version of this that doesn't feel like you're straining. It's still some work to just keep ourselves upright here. Okay. All right. So let's move into our chair pose. So 1 more time, we'll come back to the block or the pillow or the book that you have. We're just bringing it between the thighs. You may have to scoot forward in your chair to allow room for that. And once again, you're going to feel your feet connecting to the ground, the inner thighs gently drawing towards each other. And we'll start with the hands on the thighs. So lengthen the spine, inhale. And as you exhale, a little hinge forward, the spine stays. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see the spine stays neutral. Okay. And then inhale back up. Exhale, hinge forward. Good. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Now you have the option of holding here or bringing 1 arm forward or both arms forward. We start to use a lot more core movement when we do this. Maybe the arms even come up. Good. And then release, come back up. Nice job. Set the block aside. We'll probably use it a little bit later just when we're doing standing stuff. All right. Good job. Let's warm up the hips again. Bring the right knee in, give it a little hug. Maybe we pretend that we send it a kiss. Yeah. Long distance kiss is okay. And then the left knee in. And we're just sending it a little kiss there too. Okay. All right. And then the next time the right knee comes up, hold the back of the thigh and then just stretch out the leg. Just doing a little kick here. Maybe 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and as much as you can. And we're holding on to that, okay? Bring it down. And as the next left leg comes up, same thing. Hold the back of the thigh, maybe a 1, 2, 3. I can straighten my leg, can you? I can't. Bring it down. All right, with the legs a little wider, hold on to your chair. We're going to go into side to side, windshield wipers. Noticing how the hips feel. And then if you'd like, we're going to pause as we go to the right side. You can always adjust that left leg. If this doesn't feel good in your knee, you can always bring the leg out to the side or forward, but plant the right foot down. We're coming into a lunge here. The right hand can hold onto the chair to make sure you're not falling out, and the left arm can come forward. So we're coming into our lunge here. Good. And then if you'd like, we can inhale, bring the left arm up. Exhale, bring it out to the side in cactus or half cactus. And then bring it back up. Inhale. And lean forward. Exhale, left arm reaches back. Good. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, come upright. Exhale, bend the elbow out to cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, lean forward, reach back. Good. All right. Bring that left arm forward, maybe the right arm forward too, if you feel steady in your chair. And then release, come back to center. Good. Do a little wiggle. Maybe let your body move around in circles. One direction and then the other. I very much like to use circles because they're fun. All right. From that wide leg stance again, we're going now to the left side. And again, take your time and adjust. What works with this hip, which doesn't work on this hip, adjust as you need to. Left hand is holding onto the chair and right arm reaches forward. Good. With an inhale, we reach up. With an exhale, we bring the elbow out to the side in cactus. And then inhale back up. And exhale as we lean forward, right arm reaches back. Good. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open out to cactus. Inhale up. Exhale forward, arm reaches back. Good. Coming back up. Good. If you want to go again, you're welcome to do it. I know. All right, we're going to let that right arm reach forward. Maybe both arms reach forward. Seeing how this lunge feels on the chair. And then release the arms. We're going to come back to center. Phew, shaking things out as you like. It might be a really nice time for forward bends. So maybe it feels good just to lean forward, bringing your hands to your thighs or your forearms to your thighs. Keeping a neutral spine at first. And then if you find a spot that you really like, it's okay to let the spine round with your head hanging down. Pause here for about 2 breaths. Let yourself find a place where it feels a little, just like a nice stretch here. And then bring your hands back to your thighs and your spine comes back to neutral, but we're only about halfway up. So we'll let the right shoulder roll toward the left knee and the left shoulder roll toward the right knee. Just kind of finding that kind of a strange twist, a little bit of a rounding from one side to the other. Good. And then coming back to center, come back up. Nice job. All right. Bring the feet back towards each other. All right. So I'm going to show you something. I think we did this on Monday, a little bit of foundation training. It's a different thing that I've been studying, and it's meant to like bring our body into the right place so that it becomes stronger and recruiting the correct muscles. So with foundation training, we often create this little awkward pose of the toes touching, but the heels staying apart. And now the knees wrap in, so the knees may touch. You can also take your pillow there. And we're going to let the thighs roll in towards each other. So there's a lot of tension on the inner thighs, the outer hips, and you can always reduce that tension. Find the three corners of your feet, lift your toes, spread the toes, and then bring your toes down. All right, we've set up from the waist down. Now we begin to lift the chest, bring the chin back, and then bring the arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Feel the upper arm connection to this spot right here, right in your lats. And then scoop your hands forward, bringing the pinkies towards each other. They may or may not touch. And then let the hands spin out like you're holding a platter. Thumbs spin out. We're going to keep hugging here and take big inhale to expand the rib cage. And your exhale pulls the belly in. Take two more. Inhale, feel your ribs reaching back. And exhale, pull the waist away from the waistband of your pants. And then one more time. And release. Shake it out. So these specific exercises are intended to create some tension in your body, but in a good way, so that you're building the tension to recruit the correct muscles. And you can let me know if you think it's good or not. So some people don't like it, and it's okay. All right. Let's take another little break. So I'm thirsty, so I'm going to take a break, little water break. How's everybody feeling so far? Thumbs up, thumbs down. How about an eh? So. Oh, right, good. Double thumbs up is nice too. All right, so now we have the option to come into a standing pose. So if you want to stand, you're going to make your way up any way you want to. Have your chair nearby for balance. If you don't want to stand, it's okay. You can stay seated and just do the upper body part, okay? All right, so I'm going to put my chair to the side. And the first thing I like people to do is just move their hips around. Move it side to side. Maybe some circles. Maybe taking some circles in the hips. And then the other direction. Nice. And then holding onto the back of your chair as needed. We're just going to bend. Sorry, not bend. We're going to lift the heels away from the ground and then bring the heels down and lift the toes. So lift heels, then lift toes. Good, one more time. Lift. Just kind of feeling the ankles holding us up. All right. The next time you come up on the toes, try one arm up. And then release, heels down. And the next time you come up, the other arm comes up. And then release. Good. From this position, we're going to let the right leg reach behind us. You're holding onto your chair. The right leg reaches behind. And just noticing that balance that's happening there. And if you feel steady, left arm. If you feel steady. If not, you're just going to do the one thing. And then release. Then left leg reaches back. Right arm reaches forward. Good. Little spinal balance there. All right. Step back, downward facing dog. If you're in your chair, you're just reaching and leaning forward, but trying to keep your spine long. If you're in standing pose, let your knees bend a little bit and let the spine be a little longer as you stretch through that lower back area. And then when you're ready to come up, we're just looking forward and walking forward. Good. All right, nice job. Shake it out. Move anything you want to. All right, so now playing with our goddess pose. So if you're sitting, you're just taking your legs wide and out to the side. If you're standing, we're doing the same thing. Our toes are pointing out diagonally. Okay, so from that position, I'll show you sitting. It's this pose, or if we're standing, it's a little bend in the knees. Okay, so you choose that, and we're going to play with goddess today. All right, so goddess's arms are in cactus shape, knees are bent. All right, and then with an inhale, we straighten the legs, reach up only to the point that your shoulders are comfortable. Exhale, bring it back down. Good, 2 more. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, bring it back down. Last time. You can always do hands to prayer. And then bend. Good. All right, here's a little option. Right heel up. Right heel down. Left heel up. Left heel down. Hold onto your chair if needed. You're going to try both heels off the ground. Wobbly ankles. All right, and then just come back up. That is wobbly, isn't it? Relax the arms. Heel toe the feet together. All right, so now we're going to come back to that block last time, okay? Block goes between the thighs. If you're sitting down, same thing as we did before. The block is between the thighs. All right. Again, just a little squeeze, not so much that it feels too intense, but just about 40-50% effort, okay? And with our standing chair pose, I'm turning sideways so you can see. It's knees bend, hips sit back. And if you're taking care of a sore back, make this, or sore knees, make this really small. Okay, and then just come back up. All right, so now you're set up for it. So we find our chair pose in your chair or standing, and then the option is both arms forward or prayer or both arms up. Good, and just feeling that working of the inner thighs, the outer thighs, the hips, everything you do. Inhale and exhale, reach the arms back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms back. The next time we take our inhale, we're bringing the arms up and standing up so we don't have to use the block anymore. Go ahead and set that block off to the side. We're going to take a little twist in that pose. So without the block, we're just hinging with the hips and then bending the knees a little bit. Good. Sitting in the chair, same thing. We're going to start with hands in prayer this time. Good. Now to take a twist, we're going to bring right elbow toward left knee. Doesn't mean they're touching. We're just moving in that direction. And then back to center and left elbow toward right knee. Good. Back to center. Good. And then come back up. Nice job. All right. Moving to the right side of your chair. Your left hand can hold onto the chair. All right, so there's a couple of versions of this. If you're sitting, what you're doing is you're bringing your right hand to your left knee. All right, and if you're standing, we're going to do the same thing. Reach up with the right, then bend the left knee, bring it up, and let your hand tap the left knee. And then reverse. It's a little bit like a chorus line thing, right? So we're just bringing it up, tapping, and then bringing it down, spreading it back up. All right, last one, see if you can feel it, stay here and hold. And if you're standing, what happens if you let go of the chair? Or maybe not, okay? All right, and then release. I know, that one's different because you're going opposite sides of the body. You're working more in a diagonal pattern here. In between sides, feel free to do anything you want. It could be a down dog, a forward bend, anything you want to. Just something to release what we've already done. I like down dog because it usually makes my low back feel pretty good. Good. And then we'll go to the other side. So this time you're on the left side of your chair and your right hand is holding onto the chair if you're standing. And if you're sitting, we're just going to do the other side. So the feet can be a little wider apart. And then we're just bringing left arm up. And then as that left arm comes across the body diagonally, the right knee comes up to meet it. And then just reach and back. Last one. Inhale. Exhale here, hold. Good. Again, you're chesting. You may be seeing if your balance is okay on this side or not. It may be very different. And then we'll just release that. Ooh, I know that's an intense one. Release. Good. Take a moment to move anything, any way you want to. You could do some like nice twisting, swinging, or you can do your forward bends. Good. Hey. All right, that's what I had planned for that today. Go ahead and make your way back to your chair. Maybe you grab a drink of water if you'd like. So we'll take a little break from the legs and the hips for a bit, and we'll come back and do some stretches a little bit later. So we'll start with a little bit of shoulder work today to stretch things out there. We're just taking and bringing the right arm out to the side. And just kind of stretching and reaching it back. Notice the place where you feel the shoulder connecting to the chest. And just kind of letting that be a little bit of effort. Let your head turn to the left. Good. And then bring your head back to center. The right arm's going to come across the body and your left arm can hug it in. Good. I'm just feeling that stretch across the back of the shoulder blade. Notice if you tend to hike your shoulder up by your ear, you're just going to shrug it back down. I know I do it all the time. Good. And then releasing that right arm, you can come into a pat the back. The left hand can help hold it up or reach for the upper arm. Your choice on however your shoulders manage that position. Good. And then reaching that right arm out to the side. One more time, turn the palm away. Bring your hand to your hip. You might find that you can bring your hand behind your back. So it depends on your shoulder. If you don't have that range of motion, here's a good place to be. You just want the shoulder down and back, and then letting that wrap behind you. Good. And then this time we're going to lean the head over to the left. Good. Bring the head up, relax the right arm, shake it out. Second side. Left arm reaches out, reaching back, deciding how far you want to go, and just feeling that front, right where the shoulder and the chest come together. And then we're going to turn the head to the right. Bring your head back to center. Let the left arm wrap across to the right side. The right arm hold it in. Again, shrugging the shoulder up and then back down again. Yeah. All right. Just kind of feeling that back of the shoulder blade here. Release the arm and pat on the back. So often you always have the option of keeping the elbow lower if you have a restriction in your elbow, or you can take it up higher. Release the arm. Take it out to the side, palm faces away, bend the elbow. It will keep either land in front of your hip or behind the back. So you can choose either one, and know that one side can be very different than the other. And then once we're here, let your head lean away from that. So you're leaning your head to the right. Remembering to breathe. Good. Bring your head back to neutral. Release that arm. Just shake it out. All right. Just kind of setting it in. I'm taking one more water break. And then we'll move into our stretches for the hips and the low back. Okay. So here's a place where the block can be helpful depending on what your hips allow here. So I'll show you when we get there. So if you bring your right knee up and then just let that heel of your foot go side to side, you start to see that there's a wider range coming in than there is going out. It's just kind of an interesting thing that our hips are definitely good about external, but not so good about internal. And that's just how they're built. So once you bring your heel up, then you can decide if you can bring it to the thigh or not. And if it doesn't go to the thigh, here's a great place for your block or your pillow or whatever you brought, is just to prop the outer edge of your right foot on that little elevation. So you still have that external rotation of your hip, even if your leg does not come to your thigh, okay? So while you're in that internal rotation, you can start to do the rocking side to side. And then you can do a lean forward and a lean back. Kind of just checking in. Find a spot that feels good. So you might say, hey, this feels good. I'm going to lean this way and then this way. You can choose anything you want to here. Good. And then bringing it back up. This time we're going to bring that right knee in and use your left hand to draw that knee in toward the center. It's if you can cross a leg, you can go for that. If you can't cross a leg, you're just going to bring the knee as high as you can and across the body. Okay. So you're just going to give that right hip, right whole side of your glutes a little stretch there. And then if you want, you can start to let go of your right hand and let your torso, chest turn to the right into a twist. Take 2 rounds of breath here. Good. And then unwind the twist, come back to center. Take that right leg off to the side, shake it out. And then we're going to end on this side with a John Travolta twist or a John Travolta move. We're just reaching up left arm, right arm down. Good. Staying alive, right? I think that's from Staying Alive. All right, bring it back down. All right, so other side. So now bringing the left knee up, we'll start to hinge the heel in and out, coming into that external rotation, then internal rotation. And then once you bring it in, notice if you can reach your thigh or not. And if you do not reach your thigh, this is a great place for your book or whatever you have to kind of prop yourself up a little bit and let that knee open out to the side in external rotation. By the way, if you tend to have a lot of low back, sciatic, or SI joint issues, this is a really good position because it takes some of that pressure off that low back area. Good. And remember, you can still do your exploring side to side, maybe front to back. And maybe you find you like to be forward and slightly off to the right. So you can play with that until you find the one that feels best for your body. Coming back up. Bring that knee up as high as you can go comfortably. And then the right hand is going to draw it in toward the center. Maybe you cross over, maybe you don't. And then as you find that stretch on the outer hip, you can start to rotate your chest to the left, finding a twist here. Take 2 rounds of breath. And then unwind your twist, come back to center. We'll uncross that leg, stretch it out, send it out to the left. Good, and you can do what you want with your foot. It doesn't have to be pointed or flexed or anything. Just find a place where it feels good, and we're just taking our Jai Travolta on this side. Right arm reaches up, left arm reaches down, getting tall, getting long. Good, staying alive. That's what I like about that song. And then bring it back down, leg comes back in. All right. Moving into 1 or 2 sun salutations. So I think I haven't done this with you all. I didn't think I did this last time. So let's go ahead and try it. So you're going to find your seated mountain position, feet planted, spine is long, arms reach down by the sides. And then with an inhale, we're reaching up. Good. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, open it up to cactus. Draw the belly in, lean halfway forward. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, hands to thighs, forward bend. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, back down to forward bend. Come up halfway again, press the left hand down and reach up through the right as we twist to the right. Inhale there, exhale, release, and then switch. Left arm reaches out as we twist to the left. And then bring it down. Sweep both arms out and up, come to the upright, hands to heart. One more time, inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Open it out to cactus, lean forward, draw the belly in, hands to thighs, forward bend. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to bend. This time the left hand's going to stay down as the right arm opens to twist. And exhale to release. And then we twist the other direction with an inhale and an exhale to release. Reversing that swan dive, come all the way back up. Hands to heart. Pause and breathe. Maybe just noticing that moving with those sequence might have gotten your heart rate up just a little. Every time we reach our arms up, it does do that for us. And if we move with the breath too. Good. Releasing the hands. Feel free to take any last forward bend or anything that you want to do. And we'll come back to the back of the chair after that. So if you have a favorite pose that you want to do, this is a good time for that. Yeah, I see everybody doing their favorite, shaking things out. And if you're just ready for Shavasana, you're going to sit back, but I have one more thing to do before we get to Shavasana, okay? All right, last thing I want to do is a little bit of hand work. So what we're going to do is turn the palms up, make fists. And then with this, you're just reaching the knuckles up. And then as you spread your fingers, you're going to reach down. Again, knuckles up and spread and down. Last one. Now turn your palms down. We'll do the same thing. Fists, knuckles down. And then fingers spread wide up. 2 more times. Bring it down. Spread it. And last time. And then just from right, take out your hands. All right. Touch your fingers to your thumbs to your index finger, and then each finger after that. And then reverse. Just each finger, one at a time, and then back. And then just see how fast can you go. How fast can you go without losing the sequence. All right, that's kind of fun to do. All right, shake out the hands. All right, sitting all the way back in your chair, make yourself comfortable. And you're going to start to feel yourself settling into the chair, closing your eyes if you'd like to. Taking a deep breath through the nose, inhale. And then with a big sigh, let it go. cleansing breath. As you settle into your chair, let your mind begin to settle into your body, noticing how you feel after all that work we've done. And then just visualizing a place where everything would be beautiful to you and sending yourself there. So let yourself come to a favorite place, someplace that's beautiful, even if it's imaginary. And as you arrive in your favorite place, what would you see? What colors? What people are there? Maybe you're even by yourself. And in that favorite place, what would you smell? Would you have your favorite flowers, your favorite scents? Or maybe your favorite thing that's cooking? And then noticing maybe a favorite taste. What's your favorite thing to taste? And imagine that first bite, that first taste on your tongue, and then swallowing. And then coming to a favorite sound, whether it's music that you like or the sounds of nature. Maybe even complete silence. Finally, your sense of touch. Noticing the breeze or the perfect temperature on your skin. Your clothes very comfortable. Or maybe you can imagine that you're in a bathtub with bubbles around you. Choose any of those things for your 5 senses. Make up your own. And once you're in that favorite place with all the physical things happening, notice how you feel emotionally, mentally. Maybe you notice a sense of peace or joy, a sense of just completeness. And even as all of the visualizations begin to melt away, hold on to that sense of peacefulness. That sense of enjoyment and pleasure. A deep feeling that all is well. And I'm going to be quiet for a bit and just simply let us all be. Taking a few more just natural breaths. I'll bring you back when it's time. Very gently bring your awareness back to the present, holding on to that sense of ease, whatever it is you discovered in that little guided meditation, that little trip that you took. As you come back to this present moment, let yourself notice what you feel here. And then as you're ready, you can find a little bit of movement, letting the toes and ankles move around, or any part of the body that's ready. Maybe you let your head rock side to side. Maybe taking a big stretch with the arms and the legs. Releasing. We'll finally begin to open our eyes again to come back to where we started. And maybe things are just a little different than when we started. Take one more cleansing breath, a big inhale through the nose and a big sigh. Good. Bring one hand over your chest and the other hand on top of that. Feel your heart beating, your lungs breathing, and just notice that the body continues, even when we're not thinking about it. I hope that you have a beautiful day. May you take this practice with you, that sense of ease that you may have visualized, and you take it with you into the day. Thank you so much. Namaste.